Not really, but I had it at the back of my mind that I wanted to be an entertainer because I loved everything that had to do with entertainment. I remember while growing up, I used to always love to play the drum. One would go to church, and basically I was also in love with music. Like, I used to listen to a lot of music. There was literally like no device that I didn't have there, from Walkman to the little Palito radio, you know, listening to a lot of radio shows. And I mean, I guess this is destiny that has brought me to where I am today. And I'm excited, I'm happy. I actually wanted to be a singer, but my dad wasn't in support of that. I remember back then I used to have a relative that visited us every Sunday, well, mostly weekend. His name is Uncle Kemi. You know, he's very good with singing. He has like a fantastic voice, and he was putting me through voice training, but my dad was like, no way, you're not going to do this in my house, you know. So I just had to pipe low. But I mean, along the line, he passed away, and being the only son, I had to start making decisions for myself, and that's when I decided that, okay, you know what, I'm going to go into entertainment fully as a singer. But unfortunately, I attended a party, and that was where I had my first encounter with a DJ live. And at that moment, I just told myself, okay, this is it. I think this is my comfort zone, and I went with DJing. I mean, what prompted me to be a DJ was, like I said, I attended a party, and that was my first time seeing a DJ mix live. So like everything he was doing that day felt like magic, because like his hands were on the deck, there was a middle mixer, and then the songs just kept on changing, and I was just there watching him. Like, this was like magic. Like, I was so in shock. And when I went home, I told myself, okay, you know what, yeah, you want to be a singer, you want to be a DJ, which one? And at that point in my life, I felt DJ was it for me, and I just had to go with it.
I realized...
funny enough, I don't know his name. I can't even remember what he looks like. But all I can remember is he had like long hair, and he was a very tall dude, you know. And yeah, but it was a good night. It was a good night. Immediately after I had the encounter with the DJ, so I started having more interest in listening to radio shows, listening to radio DJs, trying to get familiar with songs, trying to get familiar with how the job is being done. And then luckily for me, I met DJ Douglas, who's based in the UK right now. So I understudied Douglas. I used to go to his studio back then after school, just to watch him DJ, you know. And then gradually I started following him to parties. We would carry equipment and all that stuff. And I mean, luckily for me, he gave me the audience, and then gradually he put me through, and that's how my journey just began. From there, I got on radio. From radio, I had that huge break. Everybody started getting familiar with the name Neptune, and moving forward, got signed to NATO as his official DJ. You know, had that acquaintance with Storm Records, Obi Asika, and the rest then. And then, like, gradually, we started building that foundation, and we are where we are today. How did I coin the name Neptune? I get this all the time. So 2 years into my career, I didn't have a stage name, and that, not because I couldn't get one, but I wanted something that would stand out, you know. So I tried to mess around with my name, Patrick. I tried DJ P Mix. I tried DJ Master P, but it wasn't sounding catchy to me, you know. So I just took my time. You know what? When it comes, it comes. Let's just see how it goes. So while that was happening, I was already DJing. I was already getting booked for events, and during my sets then, because I was like, I mean, I'm still creative, but you know, when you just start something like that, hunger is different. So I used to do a lot of crazy stuff on the decks, scratch, beat match, speed work, and in the process of doing all that, there's this particular track I love to scratch on. It was produced by the Neptunes for Bust the Rhyme, and there's this part where the Neptunes, which is Pharrell and his band group, gave Busta Rhymes gave a shout out to the Neptunes, you know, so I would flip that part of the record, scratch it, do speed work. And there's this particular set of guys that been to some parties that DJ'd at that I didn't even notice, but they were already familiar with that routine. So they came to this particular event I was DJing, they walked in, and when they saw me, they were like, this party is going to be mad, this Neptunes guy is going to do that thing he's always doing. You know, so I kind of like picked that and I was like, okay, so there's something that people are already getting familiar to. So when I went back home, I did my homework, made sure there was no DJ, or rather I did my research and found out that there was really no DJ in this part of the world with the name DJneptune. So I just took out the S, because I mean there's only one DJneptune, and then I ran with Neptune. My name's Patrick Imoyosen, from Edo State, from a family of 4, brought and brought up in Lagos, lived all my life in Lagos, and was still in Lagos hustling. Yes, I'm the last of the house, but I wasn't anybody's pet, to be honest. I've always been that go-getter. Like, I have 3 sisters. I have 2 half-white sisters because my dad grew up in the UK. Like, these are like little stories that people don't know about me. So my dad got a scholarship to go study in the UK while he was 16, 17, and then he lived all his life till he was 35, came back. So he got married to a white lady. I have 2 half-sisters, Dina and Debbie, and then came back. My sister, who's she passed away a couple of years ago, Julie, and then obviously me, Patrick. Yeah, definitely. We're still on WhatsApp chatting this morning, so we talk like all the time. Yeah, shout out to Jeeves, Jibola. I mean, they were handling Sway back then, and I used to play there every weekend. And then Nobu Igwe also came on board with his slush party, so I was the official DJ for that. And it was an amazing night. Like, if you ever went to Sway Bar and attended the slush party, you would understand what I'm saying. So it was an amazing experience. Like, I mean, if you're going out and you're not at Sway Bar, all the superstar artists you see now, from Whiskey to the Banky W's to the MI to the late Green to everybody, like, we all went through the corridors of Sway Bar because it was like the #1 spot in Lagos back then. And shout out to Jeeves and Nobu Igwe. I mean, obviously they gave me that opportunity to DJ there. So it was an amazing experience, and that also kind of like gave me some sort of exposure on this side of Lagos, which is on the island, you know. And then, you know, just grab every opportunity and make good use of it. I mean, life itself is not easy, but you just need to work hard, you need to be dedicated, and then you need definitely God's grace, because you can be hardworking and you know all the good things to do, and then without His grace, you're just stagnant, you know. So for me, being in the industry for 19 years, it's no joke. I've seen artists come and go, I've seen DJs come and go, and we're still here. That means there's something I must have been doing right. You know, so for me, it's just staying true to the profession, trying to involve year in, year out, and like I said earlier, on God's grace. So that's it. There's never been a time I ever thought about giving up, because when I came into this craft, it was all about the passion and not the money. You know, so even when the money wasn't really coming in, I was still passionate about the craft, and that passion kept on driving me to where I am today. So there was never it. I mean, if you love doing something, you would never want to give up, especially when it's something that gives you joy. And now it's even more crazy when it's something that gives me joy, I'm having fun, and then I get paid for it. Definitely. Back home, I looked forward to DJs like Jimmy Jazz, DJ Snoop the Damager as well, because while Snoop was on radio, back then, Rhythm FM, I used to, like, my Friday evenings, I don't sleep. Like, I'm up recording tapes, you know, trying to grab one or two techniques from his style of DJing, so I can add to what I already understand about the craft, you know. And I mean, a whole lot of them. I'm not gonna lie, you know. And I mean, hey, where we are today. For DJs putting out tracks, what a lot of people don't understand is to be a professional DJ, you definitely have to understand a lot with sound. And in the terms of understanding a lot with sound, the directions you're thinking towards too, that the artist is not necessarily thinking towards too. And I always say this: if you're capable of putting that collaboration together as a DJ, then go for it. If you have the production skills, that's another additional plus, you know. But you might not have the production skills, but you have the knowledge of understanding that if I infuse this guy and this guy on the record together, it's going to be amazing, you know. And year in, year out, I've done that. I'll give you an example. Far back as 2010, when I released 123 remix with MRH and the late Da Green. If I didn't put this artist together that time, there probably wouldn't have been a track with these three heavyweight hip-hop artists. And shortly after then, Da Green passed away. May he so continue to rest in peace, you know. So these are the advantages. This it happens all around the world, you know. But I understand that we're still evolving, you know. People are gradually opening their minds to understanding that, okay, these guys are actually key players. They can spin records and they can also own their own record, you know. And then again, there's also the business angle to it. So it's all about understanding it and then balancing everything. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the industry back then can't be compared to where we are today in terms of what the artists are making from bookings, from endorsement, from revenues, from revenue sales, from music being streamed by consumers. You know, like, the industry has evolved, new technology has come in, which has obviously played key role, and it's still going to get bigger and better. And I feel the government needs to wake up to this on time and realize that this is an industry that has single-handedly empowered people. Like, you have record labels, you have artists who sign up managers, who sign up drivers, who sign up personal assistants, who sign up A&Rs. You know, that's an avenue that's created jobs for people, that's put food on people's table, you know. So they need to start seeing the bigger picture. I was having a discussion with my friend the other day, and I said, listen, if only the government can come out and understand that if we have actual standard auditoriums in, say, 6 venues scattered around the country, a Wizkid and Davido can come together and say we want to do a nationwide tour. That's going to be job employment for LASMA, that's going to be job employment for cleaners, for sound engineers, for errand boys, for food vendors. And then at the end of the day, the government will come and be like, listen, if you guys are charging 10K, 20K for gate fee, let's have 5% of that, let's have 3% of that. That's revenue created for the federal government. But I mean, I understand everyone is chasing crude oil, but with the pandemic that we're gradually facing off now, we all saw what happened with the drastic drop in oil price and crude oil. So, I mean, it's a matter of time. I guess they will start opening their minds and understand that, okay, this is a sector that we actually need to look into, and then help these guys fight piracy, like put actual laws in place that would go after the pirates and whatnot. So yeah. Definitely. I started tilting towards that direction. I've acted in Flatmates. Shout out to Basket Mouth. I've had like 2 different episodes I've been featured in, and I know there's that part of me I'm gradually unleashing to my audience and my fans. And definitely, once I get that big opportunity, I'm gonna go for it, like go into acting full. I mean, I'm still, my primary love in terms of entertainment is DJing. I'm releasing music, and at the end of the day, I'm an entertainer. So anything that has to do with entertainment, I love to do. So shout out to Mr. Eazi, shout out to Joe Boy, shout out to Majestic on the production. The honest truth is that jam was meant to drop on the 13th of March, which was around the time the country literally went locked down. But for some weird reason, we pushed the date to 5th of March. And that was because Joe Boy was meant to drop his single towards the end of March. So the plan was, okay, let's give Nobody like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, heavy promotion, and then Joe Boy can drop his single. But I guess that worked to my advantage, because second week into March, we literally went into the lockdown, and everyone was just scattered. But like I said, it worked in my favor, because now there was so much attention on the web space, on social media. People were consuming music, people were watching a lot of movies, and Nobody was one of the songs that was making wave back then, and it's still making wave now, because this is the 6th month and it's still on different charts across Africa. I feel blessed, and I will just use this opportunity to say thank you to everyone who went out to stream the music, to all the dancers who took part in the Nobody challenge. Big ups to you guys. You guys definitely played a key role in the growth of Nobody, and once again, big ups to the artist I worked with on that record. Myself and Eazi, we've always had that good working relationship. I A&R for him, and for Empower Africa as well, which is an independent label that has gone out to empower artists all across Africa. Shout out to Mr. Eazi. So that working relationship has always been there, and then Empower distributes my content as well. So it wasn't much of a burden, though it was traveling all around then. So Joe Boy had recorded his parts, and then I sent it to Eazi, and Eazi just told me like, guy, if I'm not on this record, me and you will quarrel. I mean, it came through like a week after, sent in his verse, and then I went in with Miller Mix to mix and master the track. So it wasn't really like much of a headache making Nobody. Yeah, it was. It was a fun project right from the very moment I downloaded the beats, which was sent to me. I downloaded the beat that was sent to me from my producer Majestic. He produced the song. The moment I heard the beat, I was like, nah, this is a hit. I didn't even know who was going to be on the track, but I just had that feeling that no, this song is going to be a hit. And then I remember sending it to Joe Boy that evening, like, yo, check this beat out. And he was so excited, like, big bro, I'm going in. And then the next morning, he woke me up with a text message on WhatsApp saying, check your email. Yeah, Majestic produced the beat, and that's it. I mean, big ups to our artists, from the male artist to the female artist, everyone putting in work. The likes of Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, Tiwa Savage, Yemi Alade, Niniola, Tenny, Olamide, Mr. Eazi, the new guys, the Omalays, the Fireboy, the Rema, the Joe Boys. Trust me, they're doing well. Even the Naira Marleys, Zlatan, and the new boys coming up, the Jambo Pipers, the list is endless. If I keep mentioning names, I'm sure we won't wrap up this interview. It's like, kudos to you guys, man. You guys are making my life easy, because I work with your music, I work with good music. So if you give me good music, I get good vibe, I keep getting gigs. Like, everybody's on fire, man. Like, they're putting in so much work, and right now you can literally listen to an American song, watch an American video, listen to our song, watch our video, and there's no difference, to be honest. I mean, if it's lifestyle, our boys are giving everyone the lifestyle, and I feel it's a gradual process in terms of structure being put in place. Like, I feel whatever money is being made right now is just peanuts, because there's so much money you can make in entertainment if you get it right. So big ups to everybody putting in work. We're seeing mad collaborations with artists that you would just watch on TV and be like, is there a day that you will ever listen to a Beyonce track and hear a Nigerian artist on the same track with Beyonce? Or would there ever be a day that you listen to Sam Smith and then you hear a Burna Boy voice or a Tiwa Savage voice? Or is there a day that you listen to a Nicki Minaj track and then you hear a Mr. Eazi voice on it? You know, so like our boys are bridging the gap. They're bridging the gap. Like, let's say in West Africa, if you're talking about artists in West Africa or countries in West Africa that have like artists that are doing well, obviously it's Nigeria. No disrespect to other countries like Ghana, like other West African countries. Everyone is putting in work, but it's evidence, you know. So in Nigeria, we appreciate it in the industry.
Do you have an association? I mean, like, what is your industry? What is your sector?
Okay, so yeah, we do have an association. It's called DJan, DJ Association of Nigeria. Shout out to Roland. Cause like there are different. Okay, so it's been broken down to different regions. There's the West, the East, the North, and the South. You know, shout out to DJ Roland and the rest pioneering things down here. You know, are we getting enough respect? I mean, it's getting better. It's not where it used to be something 15, 20 years ago, you know, and shout out to every DJ putting in work now. Like, the next generation of DJs coming on board, I feel like they have a lot they would benefit from. Just like guys like myself obviously has benefited from the likes of what DJ Bbnaija and a whole lot of other DJs have done for the industry. We might not be earning as much as we should in terms of the work we put in, because you need to understand that we save up money to buy expensive equipment. We are the first to get to the venue. We are the last to leave the venue. We are on stage. Aside from life being at risk in terms of maybe anything goes wrong at the event, you also have equipment worth multi-millionaire in front of you. You can't be trying to save your life and then you're trying to save your equipment at the same time, you know. And then we put in significant hours into the job. Say an event is a minimum of like 5-6 hours. The DJ is probably up there standing for like 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, you know. And then at the end of the day, they get peanuts. Matter of fact, to the promoters that are always calling the DJs when you've sorted out everything, you've paid the artist, you've paid for all, you'll now be saying, Baba, budget don't finish. Change your ways. Change your ways, because we guys rescue your event. If your artists don't come on time, you throw the DJ up there, like, go entertain the people. You don't pay for those extra things that we do, you know. So I feel like DJs need to start understanding the power they have and then come together and have one voice, you know. But I feel like some might be doing whatever they're doing for their own selfish interest. But I mean, for me, I know my worth, and having been in the industry for 19 years, I'm not going to sell myself cheap. But that being said, the industry is evolving. It's not where it used to be before. Shout out to every DJ putting in work. It's a matter of time. We would get there. I mean, I feel blessed. I feel blessed. Shout out to the Big Brother Nigeria crew who reached out and said, oh, I mean, I've had that working relationship with them, and I guess it's just being professional, or rather being a professional at the job and then getting the job done well, because nobody wants to engage you and then have to now bother about you messing up in some certain ways. So shout out to them. They reached out and they were like, okay, you know what, for this year, I mean, the pandemic has thrown a lot of things to us on a different way, and this is our plan. Let's have you on board for first 4 weeks and let's see how that goes. And then from there, you know what, you're just going to do the whole 10 weeks, you know. So I feel blessed for that, and I'm grateful for the platform that has been given, because obviously that's more exposure to a new audience that I might not have been able to reach with my DJing skills or my music, you know. So I'm grateful for that, and shout out to the team. We're working. I don't subscribe to it. you don't want to be caught in that web of you fighting the opposite sex. You know, it's not worth celebrating. So there's really no point. You get me? So I don't subscribe to it. And, I mean, I know it can be very difficult to just want to walk away from being angered, but trust me, at the end of the day, it's the best, because if you don't do the right thing, all what you've worked for can just go down the lane like that. So yeah. I mean, my only advice is, if she says no, is no. Let it be like that, to save yourself from all the unnecessary drama. And well, like I said, human beings are different, but if a lady tells me no, no is no. There's no point. When I'm not busy, how do I relax? Even when I'm not busy, I'm still busy. I'm either checking emails or trying to attend to meetings and all that. So round the clock, my life is busy. It's crazy because I almost don't have time for myself, but I mean, it's what I signed up for. You know, people are crying and working hard to get busy, so why should I complain? You know, so I just always try to strike the balance and you know, just take it how it is. Ogbono soup and pounded yam. Brown. I like to try on new things, but in the process of doing that, I like to be comfortable. That's key for me. The weather is not going to be extremely hot, and then you find me putting on suits. No, I will not do that. You know, I like to be comfortable in whatever it is I'm putting on, and then I also like to be stylish too. So I basically just try whatever it is that is being thrown at me, you know, and just try my possible best to rock it the best way I can. There are a lot of them, from the Maya Tafos to the Okunare twins, Kamsi. But I work with Kamsi a lot. I love his stuff. I love his creativity, and we seem to have that synergy, you know. So, and then there's this other guy, Mike Blackson Collection. I love his stuff as well, and then Nasel as well. Hi, my name is DJneptune. You already know the baddest DJ ever lived, aka Greatness. Shout out to Media Room Hub. You already know. Keep watching.